But first, I know I don't like it like you do, this constant debate we have running down our country. Come Friday on Australia Day, I'm going to celebrate the greatest country on earth, and I'm sure you're going to do that too. But we keep having to suffer these outbursts from the perpetually outraged whose grievance, let's be honest, is less about the day and more about their growing hatred of our country. It's insufferable, and this year it seems we've got to a fever pitch. But if there's a silver lining, it appears it's not working. In fact, the opposite. I played remarks a little earlier on from the Woolies boss, who's now clearly in damage control and big ads in the paper and all of that. Then there's the boss of Cricket Australia, Nick Hockley, who couldn't even explain coherently their position on the day. He's now trying...
We want everyone to come along and have the most fantastic time to celebrate Australia Day.
But you won't mention Australia Day.
We're seeking to be as inclusive and welcoming as possible.
All right, well, I don't know how you're including the majority of Australians who want to celebrate the National Day.
So we are not precluding anybody celebrating Australia Day. We're not boycotting Australia Day. We're playing Test cricket on Australia Day.
I understand that you're just not mentioning it either, right?
We encourage people to come to the cricket and celebrate on Australia Day.
I don't know, I think being a Pom saying all of that grates on me. I think he's a Pom. He certainly doesn't have an Australian accent. But I mean, trying to say Australia Day isn't banned, but they won't use the words, won't make any reference to it. You try and make sense of all of that. Joining me, someone is not shy in defending our country or our National Day, former Prime Minister Tony Abbott. Well, great to have your company yet again to kick off 2024. But I don't know about you, I get sick to get into January, straight after New Year's Eve, basically. We start this month-long self-loathing. How do we get to this position where we're told we have to hate our country or we're not really Australian now?
Peter, you put it very well in your editorial tonight. You said very clearly that what happened on the 26th of January 1788 was a good thing, not a bad thing. It wasn't the arrival in this country of oppression and racism. It was the arrival on this continent of law, of liberty, of literature, of science. And in the long run, that's been good for everyone, including Aboriginal Australians, because all of us, Aboriginal, descendants of the First Fleet, recent arrivals, all of us live in a country which by any standard is free, it's fair, it's prosperous and it's safe. And I just think we have to get over this national angst, accept our history as it is, the overwhelmingly good as well as the bad, and make the most of the country we are and make it better.
You got to feel, though, for the majority of Australians, they love this day. They've got no truck with destroying Australia Day or our sense of pride in our country, but they don't get a lot of say. I mean, the Prime Minister says he backs Australia Day, but he's basically allowing everyone to walk away from it, so it's getting rid of it by stealth. He hasn't got the guts to say no Australia Day on the 26th. You've got all these corporates, just like they were in The Voice, lecturing us on high. What does the ordinary Australian do to get their day back when the majority of us support Australia Day on the 26th?
This is exactly right, Peter. And I think that all of those in elite positions have got to get with the program. And the people made it absolutely crystal clear last year in the Voice referendum that they don't want our country divided, and they don't like being told that our history is something to be ashamed of rather than to be proud of. So I just think that it's time to say we've had this debate about Australia Day. It's been won by the people who think that Australia Day should stay on January the 26th, that Australia is, on balance, an overwhelmingly good country that deserves to be celebrated. You're right. The head of Cricket Australia sounded like he was a migrant. The head of Woolies sounded like he's a migrant, and good on them for choosing this country. But they obviously chose this country because they thought it was, on balance, a very good country. So they should give up this pandering to political correctness, If they think our country is a good country, worth coming to, therefore worth celebrating, why don't they tell their organisations and institutions, let's recognise and celebrate our country on its National Day?